Today's tip is productivity begins before you go to work. What does that mean, Richard, and why is that important?
Okay, first, most of us look at productivity while we're at work, and we measure while we're at work. I can tell you this, that's second. If you prepare for work, and I'm not talking even consciously, I'm talking about productivity preparation, which means a good night's sleep, three things: good night's sleep, some form of exercise, and eating some sort of food intake, fuel for your body in the morning. Okay, there's no doubt about this. The sleep is the most important productivity tip. And any employer that says it's not, or that says our productivity begins at work, they're incorrect. You know what you feel like if you don't get a good night's sleep, right? And it's also, by the way, impossible to get a good night's sleep every night. But the CDC, the Mayo Clinic, the Cleveland Clinic, the Sleep Foundation all agree, and it's all in facts, and it's all on their website, it says 7 to 9 hours. If you can get 7 to 9 hours of sleep at night, you're going to most likely have a decent day the next day. Plus, by the way, if you don't, the Whitehall study, British research firm found, and several of them, different firms found, you'll have reduced life expectancy. You'll increase your risk of cardiovascular disease. Chances of gaining weight is greater, getting sick, looking older faster, becoming more forgetful, your memory loss. You need a good night's sleep. That's a fact. All right. Another tip here, bonus tip, is don't stress over getting a good night's sleep, right? Because that makes it worse. Understand that that's part of life. There's times you're not going to get a good night's sleep, and it might even be 2 times, 3 times a week, whatever it is. The less you stress about it and accept it, that that's the way every one of us is built, then you're more likely to get a better night's sleep. So
what about?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to add exercise and eating some form of breakfast, even the walk. I mean, we talked before we got on the call. You were going on a walk on a conference call.
Right.
I'm not even talking about you did it while you're working, and that's great too. It's really important, actually.
What about one of my favorite tips for myself is that I write down, and I know this is in your book, so it's a leading question, but I make a list of all the things that I'm going to do tomorrow before I go to bed, and what I'm going to do, my major goals, and what I'm going to accomplish this week. And I feel that sets my supercomputer in motion, my subconscious. What you mentioned this in your book, Work Smart Now. Make lists.
Oh, definitely make lists. Not only that, you break your lists out at least in 2 ways. What you need to do today, and that no more than 5 tasks. No more than 5 tasks. 3 is probably even better. And then what you can do after that. And then actually you can break it out even in 3 ways if you want to. What's next on your task list to do that day, should you get the critical task done? And then what's called, and Michael Lindenberger, who wrote this great book about it, which I love, talks about this and how you can work on Outlook to set your Outlook up to move into tasks very easily in these 3 ways. And he refers to the third way as opportunity zone, the third task. So critical tasks you do now, tasks you do later in the day, should you have time, and then opportunity zone, which could be a week or 2 or a month, where you'll review every week or so and then move them up. But no more than 3 categories for your task list.
So one of the programs that I have on the Messenger Institute is a gentleman I interviewed by the name of Alden Mills. And Alden Mills is a very successful entrepreneur. He's this guy who invented the perfect push-up, and he's a Navy SEAL. And he talks about creating an unstoppable mindset. And so one of the things that he mentions, and you mentioned, and these other authors mention, is, how, to use your term, productivity begins before you go to work. It begins before you go to sleep. It begins before you begin the next day. But he talks about how it's all in your mind. And what we're doing in your mind is creating the mindset to allow the supercomputer to focus, to remove distractions. And he calls it creating an unstoppable mindset. So there's a lot of overlap here, but I think it's very, very, very productive.
Well, I agree 100%. My means of clearing my mind has been a process I've been through my whole life, which is through psychotherapy and psychoanalysis. I clear everything out that's been building up from my childhood, lost childhood issues, clearing them, putting them aside. It takes years and years to clear your mind to have get something that clear. So it's a mental health issue, actually. It's not just talking to somebody about your problems. It's with a trained analyst or therapist that can help you work those issues out that are holding you back.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, because this tip is getting a little longer, but that's okay. I mean, I had broken my neck, and I had severe pain and depression and anxiety, and I had to learn a lot of those things too. And it's one of the reasons why I do what I do, is to help people understand, there's a difference between clearing your mind and being present. And I had some clients who were really confused. I said, look, being present means you're here, you're focused, and you're aware, and you're engaged, like we're present with each other and engaged. But clearing your mind is totally different. Clearing your mind is dumping and removing all of the different things that you've got running. It's like your computer. If you got 10 different applications running in the background, your RAM is going to run out of memory, and things don't work good, and it goes slow. So, maybe we should do a tip on clearing the mind. Let's do that one next, okay?
Oh, that'd be great.
Okay. Sure. All right. Thanks, folks. That's it for today's tip here on Productivity Begins Before You Go to Work. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night.